Okay, story time with me as I do packages. I got a bunch of packages I gotta ship off today for Depop. Um, so basically, I'm just gonna tell a story about like some crazy stuff that happened with my ex. So when I was with my ex, um, we were like towards the end of our relationship. She basically cheated on me the whole entire time, but she was friends with this girl. Um, Nat or whatever, that was her best friend. And she was basically just like, she lied to me about a lot of things and told me that they were just friends. Even though, like, everybody was telling me from the beginning, like, they're super close and their friendship is weird, but I was just like being naive and thought I was like, oh, so in love with this girl. The whole time, they were in fact talking the whole entire time. And in the end, they ended up becoming friends again because they stopped being friends for a while, like a few months. And I guess it was like around my birthday. Like we ended up breaking up on my birthday, and she ended up telling this girl like, "Oh yeah, we're not together anymore," and all this other stuff. The whole time, like we were talking as if we were gonna get back together, and then I don't know. Like our relationship was really, really toxic, but that's a story for a different time. And like, I don't even know. Ended up taking a trip away from her because I was basically like humbled while she was living in a house, which is just another crazy part. And so one day before I ended up leaving, it was literally like, I think a couple days before or the day before I ended up leaving, she told me that she was in love with Nat. And then she tried to play it off him, and be like, "Oh, I was just kidding. You're so naive. All this other stuff." And I, I believed her, but I didn't. I don't know. I was just being so slow. So basically, fast forward, me and her were definitely not talking. Bunch of stuff ends up happening. I end up going to Milwaukee for a while because I was in Chicago. And so, bam, when I go out there, we're like talking, but we weren't in like the best place, obviously. And I was going through a lot of stuff. And during this time, I ended up finding out like she posted of them being together. Like we weren't even like actually broken up yet now. And then she posted about this girl, so I'm like, okay, wow, that's crazy. And that was her way of basically telling me like, oh yeah, we're done, we've been done. But then during this time, now she's sitting there and she's basically telling me she's in love with me and she's in love with this girl, all this other stuff. So I don't know, I just didn't want to let her go yet, so I ended up staying. And then she was like, but I want both of you guys. And she was like, I don't want to let go of either one of you. And my dummy self, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was okay with her talking to the other girl. So at this point, we agreed to just be in an open relationship. But at this point, she had already made all her friends like not like me. And this was on all on IMB, like just dumb. And then so during this time, it was like a whole month. Me and her are like rekindling our relationship while the whole time she's talking to this other girl. And I end up going back home to Minnesota instead of like going back to Chicago because I had nowhere to go anyways. I ended up messing up with her, so I did a package shop. It was Battlefront 2. Anyways, so yeah, I ended up going back to Minnesota, and me and this girl, like, we were doing better. Mind you, mind on myself, like, for whatever reason, like, I don't know, I'm like, this girl had a love spell on me because there's no way I should have been obsessed with her the way that I was. Like, in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, before I go back home, it's a great idea for us to get engaged. I don't know what was wrong with me. So yeah, we ended up getting engaged and everything before I went back home. And at this point, she's telling me like all this crazy stuff. She's telling me that this girl Nat, right, that she knows about me and her being together, and like I know about her, all this other stuff. So mind you, I don't know, like crazy stuff. She's telling me like, oh, Nat wants to get married to me too. I'm like, well, that was fast. Y'all only been together for like a month, and she was just saying like, well, we're in love, blah blah blah. I'm like, so how's that gonna work? How are you gonna marry two people? And then she basically was like, oh, it's basically whoever marries me first or something like that. Like, I don't even know. Or she was saying like one of us would be legal and the other one would be more of a spiritual marriage. And like I said, in my head, I'm thinking like, this is such a great idea. I'll ask my mother.